What's going on, YouTube world? Welcome back to Little Bit Man Gaming, bringing you a review for WandaVision episode 5. I think it is. Let me just make it sure. Yeah, episode 5, called on a very special episode. But first things first, as you gotta hit that like, subscribe, and share, and the notification button. Greatly appreciate it. Or also leave a comment. Just help the YouTube channel out. All around, it tracks YouTube. It gets us out there to the YouTube masses more. If you subscribe, like, watch, do all that great stuff, because it just helps me get out there more. Plus, I gotta go 100 subscribers for right now. Then the goal moves on, as we get higher in subscribers. But right now, it's just 100 subscribers, and yeah, let's get to it, right? So big episode, big episode, right? Like they keep ramping it up. They just ramping it up. Just keep the good. They keeping the good stuff going, and just like last episode, this episode has not. And I mean, it has not stopped. It keeps giving you more and more to keep coming back, and you keep wanting to know. And the fact that it's only 30 minutes, the best 30 they managed to make. Because, most shows nowadays, everybody know, you watch The Flash or any other, any show, most shows are either, is mostly hour long. There are some shows that's like 30 minutes long, but, most of the shows are hour long. And in 30 minutes, they manage to cram in so much goodness and not make it feel rushed. A little bit. So, sometimes you can be like, now they kind of rush and stuff, but not a lot, though. It's slightly not there, but let me give you a brief preview of what this episode is about. So basically, this episode, which is, like I said, on a very special episode, that's the name of this episode, is on a very special episode. Wanda and Vision are struggling with their sons, which is named Tommy and Billy. But things are basically not where they appear, and basically reality starts to set in and things starts to crumble a little bit. That's just my interpretation, because it was really, I tried to find a synopsis, but it really was a synopsis for the episode. So I'm basically trying to give you a general overview, just a synopsis version of what the episode was about, and now to actually get into it. Yes, it's the 1980s, and from what I can understand, the show they was calling from, I think I heard somebody say on YouTube, the show they was calling from was a show that Michael J. Fox was on when he was a kid. I forgot the name of it. I think that's the actor. I heard somebody say it was a show that he was on when he was a kid. They calling from. Or not a kid, but younger, I should say, because I don't know if he was actually a kid or just a young, teenager or whatnot. But it was a show that he was on, basically. So they, yes, it starts. That's how it actually starts. It starts off with them trying to struggle to get the kids to stop crying, and you got Agnes. She comes in like a comedic person, like one of those old TV shows, oh yeah, I heard, my ears, tells me that your babies you're having trouble getting your babies to, they're not cry. So she comes over, in one of those family shows, shows of those eras, will come over and offer to help. But then something unexpectedly happened while they was trying to do that, and the babies stop crying. That's not the unexpected part. What happens after that is the unexpected part. They go from being babies to 5 years old. I'm gonna try to dance around some things because I don't want to spoil what happens. Because I feel like it's a show that you should go, that for the good stuff, the good meaty stuff of this episode, you should go watch. But I'm trying to give you an overview, dancing around the good stuff, but give you a little bit to go get you I'm gonna go check this out. So yeah, so then you got let's see what else happened. Yeah, the kids turn 5, and then they get into the kids turn 5, and then they get into like a typical sitcom storyline that you see play out so many times during the sitcom. You got the kids finding a doll. They found the doll. That was all along. They tried to go get wash it up, but then they try to hide it from the mom. Mom finds it. Wanda finds out they trying to hide the dog. They want to keep the dog. They want to keep the dog as theirs. But both Vision and Wanda, they agree that the kids are just too young. 5 years is a little too young to take care of a dog, right? But the way how they were saying it, they didn't really know what age you should be. So they was like, yeah, 5 is not, but so they was dancing around numbers, and then Vision, going 10. He tried to cough. He coughed and tried to hide under his cough, tried to disguise, 10. He wanted to say they at least need to be 10, and then they realized they messed up because they said 10, and the kids look at each other. They like, wait a minute, hold on, no, don't you do that, don't you do it, and then the kids aged themselves to 10. So they went from being babies to 5 years old to 10. And all the while, this happened when they went 5. I forgot when they went 5. Agnes is still there. They went. They was 5. Agnes is still there. And Vision's kind of concerned. That we supposed to be trying to hide our powers, and yet the kids just turn. He's concerned that the kids just turned 5 years old in front of her, and yet she doesn't even notice it. That the kids went from being babies to 5 years old. And that's the little cause for his concern. That's when this episode, like right here, that's when the episode starts to crumble a little bit. But yeah, then they go from being 5 to Agnes is there again, and they go from being 5 to 10. She's also there. She makes a remark. They end up naming the dog Sparky, and she makes a remark like, "Let's hope this dog doesn't grow." Like, and Vision grows even more concerned, like because the kids are they using their abilities in front of a civilian, and he starts to see that something is not right here. Why? We're here to try to hide our powers and be normal. Why is it that why is she not noticing or picking up on the fact that our kids are jumping from baby to 5-year-olds to 10-year-olds? So now, Vision's starting to grow concerned, and let's see what which put Vision's concern into overdrive when they name the dog, they keep the dog named Sparky, since the kids are technically 10, like they said they needed to be. Wanda, I think Agnes was like turned around or something. She wasn't like facing Wanda and Vision, and Wanda Wanda makes a collar appear in her hand for the dog, and Vision grows concerned. He was like, "She's right there. Like, what if she would have turned around and see you use your powers? We're supposed to be here to hide our powers." And she said, "Well, maybe I'm getting tired of hiding my powers. Maybe we should be open with our powers more. Maybe he should walk around. Maybe he should walk around more looking like his normal self instead of his human form." She's starting to want to be. She's comfortable with herself to the point where her real self is starting to show more than the fake sitcom version of her. Reality is starting to come into this TV world. And the thing I like about this episode, we get to see both. We get to see both sides of it, right? They show you since one half they spent the first couple of episodes of the season, so in the TV version, then they got to the one episode, which was episode 4. I think it was episode 4 where they showed just the outside version, where everybody in the real world and reality was trying to figure out what was going on in there. They showed you two aspects. They showed you one side thinks that thinks they're evil. The other side that they're evil. They don't know either side. Both. It's hard to tell which side is which because nobody knows what's going on. Everybody think the one side think the other side is evil, and the other side think the other side is evil. It's like it's a big confusion. But now, starting with this episode, they showed you both. They showed you both their TV sitcom reality, and they showed you the real reality. You know, the ages and what they're still trying to figure out what's going on. You know, they got Monica. She's talking about how she's trying to figure out what's going on, why things change and stuff. You know, and they figure out that the thing, you know, because she don't want the real reality to seep in, and she wants to keep the reality that, you know, whoever's doing this. If you still haven't watched it, I'm not gonna say who are there telling us who's doing it, but I'll just say the person that's doing this, they figure out that the things that go in there has to fit that reality. So you seeing a flat screen TV in there, it's gonna turn to that era TV, and since it's the 1980s, you see a big ass 60-inch TV in there, it's gonna turn to a regular 1980s TV. But they figured out that if you send something, what they figured out was if you send something in there that's from the 80s, wherever era that reality is in, if you send something from that era, it won't change at all. They found the loophole around the changes. It only goes into that area, and then they found out that it's not the things that she creates. It's not the things that this person who's controlling it creates. It's not fake or nothing. It's actually real. Like she went in there with she analyzed her clothes and realized that. Sorry about that. She went in there and she analyzed the clothes and realized that because she went in there with Kevlar, you know, bulletproof vest. She went in there with a bulletproof vest on, and that her little 1970s clothes that she had on. She realized that it was all made of Kevlar. She takes Jimmy's gun and shoots it at her clothes and realized, you know, that's how she realized it's not real. That the things she creates, like when you go in there and like everything turns into that era, it's not, you know, a fake or illusion. She's like the person that's in control. They're turning your clothes and your things that you current now into objects that fits there, but it's still what it was. And in her case, if she went in there with a bulletproof vest on, Monica went in there with a bulletproof vest on. Her whole 19s, when she got kicked out, they figured out her clothes was made of Kevlar. She can't get her whole clothes since she still had the bulletproof vest on. It just made her clothes bulletproof because that's what she went in there with. So no matter what she wore or whatever, you know, every time the era changed, it was still the clothes she had on. So you know, whatever her clothes changed into, that's the clothes she had, and that every clothes was like Kevlar. But yeah. So they, you know, back to the story at hand. You know, they Wanda Wanda almost revealing her powers. Then you got I'm trying to see where I left off at. So they go to Vision. No, it says Wanda and Vision are not on the same page. Vision goes to work, and they just got computers in there. So now they just got computers. They're not using towers no more. Now they got a computer, and they had an email. And the email is the email is basically like a sword email, and Vision like reads it, and it's basically the email. The email is like a documentation of what you know, Jimmy and Monica on them has gathered, the information they have gathered about Westview up until this point, and it was weird like. When he went to, when they the dude I forgot the Indian guy's name. it was. I'm trying. I'm sorry, I got lost in thought. But yeah, it reveals the Rescue situation to them. But the Indian guy, this Indian guy co-worker that he got, I think what's his name? I think his last name is like Tandon Abelish. I think I'm saying his name right. Abelish Tandon. I think I'm saying his name right, but whatever, is his Indian coworker, and he's basically like him and everybody in the office, they really all read at the same time, like they was in a trance, like source says this, blah 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 blah. They like all reading at the same time, like they in a trance. And Vision, he's looking around like, what the, he's trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Why are y'all reading it? Why is everybody reading it out loud and like they in the trance? Like, what's going on? And Vision, he looks at the computer. He touches it and makes the computer go off. And then he used the same power that he just did on the computer on his coworker, and his coworker snaps out of what's going on in Rescue, and he's his actual self. He's confused, discombobulated. He's worried about his family. He doesn't know what to do. He's just a big bag of confusion. He's freaking out. He's having a panic attack, and he's telling Vision that he has to make her stop. So we know he's revealing that it's a her. Whether or not who it is, if you've seen the show, who he met by her. At least what we think he met by her. But he's saying you have to make her stop because I'm in pain. Like he's revealed that at least from we are told that everybody who's being forced to be a part of this Rescue sitcom like story, they're all like basically forced to be like that. They are forced to be like that via like some type of hypnosis, and he's revealing that it's actually like akin to being tortured. Like he's saying that he's in pain. Like he's in pain. He's being tortured by the fact that he's being forced to act like this, forced to be this way. And he reveals the vision that he has to make it stop. So we find out that at least that everybody that is forced to act this way are actually in anguish. They're akin to being tortured, and because she is inside his head, Vision panics and and puts him back under the hypnosis. He reverts him back to that. So Monica. Then we get to the part where Monica finds out that you send stuff in there from the 80s. It won't get changed at all because it's part of that era, right? So they do that. They try to make contact with Wanda. Wanda kind of realizes it's a drone. She hears it. She knows it's not supposed to be there. So she goes. She hears it, and they try to contact her, but her eyes start glowing. The Dick who runs Sword. The dude, he tells him the fire. He don't want to, they try because they outside. They trying to find Sparky, and they end up they trying to find Sparky, and they try to make when they go outside. They see the drone, and Hayward along with Monica basically sending this drone in, and then Hayward, when he realizes her eyes glow red, that she just basically cuts the feed, right? And then all of a sudden it's an anomaly happens. Something is going on. So everybody runs outside, and Wanda emerges from the little containment, like little field, staticky, like little barrier, and she's not dressed like she's from the 80s. She's dressed like herself on Endgame. She looks like her normal Endgame costume wearing self, which she fought Thanos. And in an interesting fact, they bring that up too in the episode, how if it was, they said, as it wasn't for Thanos calling down that airstrike, Wanda could have killed Thanos by himself. But then it was like, hold on, it wasn't not just she's not the only one that was strong enough to kill Thanos. They also bring up how Captain Marvel was also strong enough to kill Thanos. She came very close to killing Thanos too. So Monica having a weird reaction to that. She's like, yeah, we're not going to talk about Captain Marvel. Like it's like a soft spot for her, a sore spot. Like that's like it's something that she don't like talking about. You get that urge and that feeling that she don't like talking about Captain Marvel for some reason. Hopefully they reveal why she don't like talking about Captain Marvel. But Wanda confronts them. So Wanda confronts them, telling them why, what's going, why they, cause I guess, he didn't tell Monica, Hayward didn't tell Monica that he equipped the drone to attack Wanda. And, he's making Wanda still, after everything that's happened, we see that they still, even Sword, and the government still treats the Avengers, according to how they was talked about in Captain America: Civil War. We found out that the Sokovia Accords are still in effect. That vigilantes are still, like, the whole thing with Thanos didn't change anything, and that they still view Wanda as a terrorist. But they trying to, then you got the people like Darcy from Thor and Jimmy. They trying to basically, take up on Wanda, saying she's not a terrorist. She's an Avenger. She was she was this, but now she's an Avenger, and she's not that. But he very much be a dick and say she's a terrorist. But we still see that the Soviet Accords is still in effect, and they still treat Wanda and some Avengers basically like they still outlaws. Wanda and Vision, they get into an argument. Vision, he's having trouble believing Wanda. He think Wanda's controlling everything. He's having trouble believing her, and he's like, she's like, you never talked to me like this before. He's because I'm scared, because I can't remember anything in my life outside of Westview. And he said, he basically can't remember that he's Vision. He's the part of the Avengers. What happened to him with Thanos? Like, he can't remember none of that. Before Westview, he can't remember none of that. And he said it's terrifying him. And she's trying to calm down, saying, "Ain't this enough?" But he was like, "No." He wants to know what's going on. Why people are afraid of her and talking about it like that. And then we get, he thinks she's controlling everything. And she says she's not controlling everything. She don't even know how this all started. Then we get a surprise cameo, which I won't reveal here. But if you go watch the episode, you do. I just say 2 movie franchises finally crossed over. With that being said, the episode was good all around. It was good. I loved the episode. I have no problem. Like, I saw nothing wrong with the episode, so I'm giving it 10 out of 10. Big ups, because that was a great episode. I recommend go watching it. There is a little hint, that little commercial that gives a little, Easter egg. But if you like videos like this, if you want to see more videos like this, go like, subscribe, share, and hit that notification button. Let me know in the comments below. Get me to 100 subscribers, because this was a wonderful episode, and it has me excited to see more. Until then, see you in the next video, because I got my wrestling SmackDown review and some more gameplay of Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. To the next one, peace.